Happy 4th of July from California.
NEA reads the Declaration of Independence. Happy 4th of July from Ohio.
NEA reads the Declaration of Independence. Happy 4th of July from Florida.
NEA reads the Declaration of Independence. Happy 4th of July from Massachusetts.
NEA reads the Declaration of Independence. Happy 4th of July from California.
NEA reads the Declaration of Independence. Happy 4th of July from Ohio.
NEA reads the Declaration of Independence. Happy birthday, America, from California. Happy birthday, America.
NEA reads the Declaration of Independence. Happy birthday, America, from Hawaii.
NEA
Declaration of Independence.
When in the course of human events,
it becomes necessary for one people
to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another,
to assume among the powers of the earth
the separate and equal station,
to quench the laws of nature,
nature's God entitled them,
decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires
that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
That all men
and women are created equal.
That they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
that to secure these rights,
governments that are instituted by men,
deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed,
that when any form of government
becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people
to alter or abolish it,
and to institute a new government,
laying its foundation on such principles,
and organizing its powers in such form
as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments
long established
should not be changed
for life and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience has shown
that mankind are more disposed to suffer,
while evils are sufferable than to right themselves,
by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed,
train of abuses and usurpations,
pursuing invariably the same object.
It's a design to reduce them under absolute despotism.
It is their right.
It is their duty
to throw off such government,
and to provide new guards
for their future security.
Such has been the patient sufferance
the necessity which constrains them
to alter the system of government.
The history of the present King of Great Britain
is a history of great injuries and usurpations. All having in direct object the establishment
of an absolute tyranny over the state.
To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world.
He has refused to assent to laws.
The most wholesome and necessary for the public good.
He has forbidden his governors
to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance.
Unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained.
And when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them.
He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people.
Unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in the legislature.
A right
inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only.
He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual,
uncomfortable, and from the depository of their public records,
for the sole purpose
of fatiguing them
into compliance with his measures.
He has dissolved representative houses repeatedly.
For opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of the people.
He has refused for a long time
such dissolutions to cause others to be elected,
whereby the legislative powers,
incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise.
The state remaining in the meantime exposed to all the dangers of invasion from without and convulsions within.
He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states for that purpose obstructing the laws of naturalization of foreigners.
Refusing to pass others to encourage their migrant hither.
And raising the conditions of new appropriations of lands.
He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his absence to laws for establishing judicial powers.
He has made judges dependent on his will.
Alone for the tenure of their offices. The amount and payments of their salaries.
He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people
and eat out their substance. He has kept among us in times of peace
standing armies without the consent of our legislatures.
He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislators, elected to render the military independent of
and superior to the civil power.
He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign.
Now, to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws.
Giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation.
For quartering large bodies of armed troops among us.
Read the Declaration of Independence.
For protecting them.
By a mock trial from punishment.
For any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states.
For cutting off our trade to all parts of the world.
For imposing taxes on us without our consent.
Depriving us in many cases of the benefit of trial by jury.
For transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses.
For abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province.
Establishing therein an arbitrary government and enlarging its boundaries so as to render
it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies.
For taking away our charters.
Abolishing our most valued laws.
And altering fundamentally the forms of our government.
For suspending our own legislatures.
Declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases.
By declaring us out of his protection.
He's plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people.
He is, at this time, transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny.
Already begun with circumstances of cruelty.
Perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages.
He has constrained our fellow citizens taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands.
To become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hand.
Has excited domestic insurrection among us.
And has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers.
Merciless Indian savages whose known rule of warfare
is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions.
In every stage of these oppressions.
We have petitioned for redress in the most
humble terms.
Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury.
A prince
whose character is thus marked by every act.
By every act which may define a tyrant.
Is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been waiting with attention.
To our British brethren.
We have warned them from time to time
of attempts by their legislators
to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us.
We have reminded them
of the circumstances of our immigration and settlement here.
We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity.
And we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred.
NEA reads the Declaration of Independence. To disavow these usurpations.
Which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence.
They too have been deaf.
To the voice of justice.
And of consanguinity. We must, therefore, acquiesce
in the necessity
which denounces our separation.
And hold them.
And hold them.
as we hold the rest of mankind.
Enemies in war.
In peace, friends.
We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America,
in General Congress,
assemble,
appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world
for the rectitude of our intentions.
Do in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies.
Solemnly purpose and declare.
solemnly publish and declare
That these united colonies are
and of right ought to be
free and independent states,
that they are absolved from all
allegiance to the British Crown,
and that all political connections
to bring it into accord
between them and the state of Great Britain.
Policy, Bylaws, and Rules Committee is attempting
and
to
ought
correct
to
that
be.
inconsistency. You will, moreover, argue.
Microphone 31, Adrian Valdez. Say no. You have closed debate. You are voting on standing rule number 8.
It's free.
And independent.
Standing rule amendment 6.
You will go microphone 15,
They have
Full power
Amendment to the standing rules will help.
to levy war.
21 speakers for.
Conclude peace.
We have on
Contract allowances. Contract alliances.
Establish commerce.
And to do all
We
other.
have no speakers against. We have nominated for
Acts
Mississippi.
and
You have
dates.
not already done so. Well, that means you are listening.
Ask you to take lessons
Which?
from our founders. Leaders who were not bowed by the enormous number of students living in poverty.
Independent states.
By focusing on these schools, we can achieve. But it is important
Made
that
of.
we do something because these kids deserve on turnaround schools.
Right.
We need our local unions to organize
And
like never
for.
before. In the old days, speaking of organizing, the ultimate declaration that we individually
With
due to
a.
the economic pressures on states transform more
on the
generations
protection
in America.
of divine providence.
The theme of this RA is
Mutually
a
pledged.
future filled with promise for to realize our great audacious vision of
Our lives.
Our fortune, our sacred honor. Our fortunes and our sacred honor.
Following nominations. Standing Rule 12E states that the Constitution, Bylaws, and Rules Committee shall, a little news music,
the signers from the original 13 colonies of the Declaration of Independence.
John Hancock.
Eldridge Jerry.
Samuel Adams. John Adams.
Robert Treat Payne.
Stephen Hopkins.
As local president. Everyone before
William McEllery.
former Golden our school and
The signers from Rhode Island.
full back pay and benefits. There are other reasons why I'm running for the NDA.
Signers of the Declaration of Independence from North Carolina are William Hopper, Joseph Hughes, and William John Penn.
The signers of the Declaration of Independence for the state of Maryland are
William Paper. New business items shall be considered at least 1 hour at the second discussion of new business items at an hour of
Charles
new business
Carroll
items.
of Carroll.
New business item.
NEA reads
Martin Correa,
the Declaration
California,
of
speaking as
Independence.
an individual.
The signer from Virginia, George
Do we have it on the screen?
Richard Henry
Add
Z.
point 4. The sentence.
This is federal intervention to convert public system
Thomas Nelson Jr.
democratic part of the society.
Francis
To the end of that sentence, it's part 3 rather than part 4.
The signers of the Declaration of Independence from the state of New Hampshire are
Business item A.
Thornton,
With amendment. You may.
William Whipple.
The Declaration of Independence.
The signers of the Declaration of Independence from Connecticut are Roger Sherman,
Samuel
Huntington,
29 years.
William Williams.
Oliver Wilcott.
The signers of the Declaration of Independence from New York are
Region 43 from the Great.
William Floyd.
A universal health care plan would look like in other countries. My personal reputable socialized health care clinic
Francis Lewis.
in Spain was totally Congress intent.
Lewis Morris.
Therefore,
NEA reads the Declaration of Independence.
Three signers of the Declaration of Independence from Georgia are
Button Gwinnett.
Lyman Hall.
Signers of the Declaration of Independence from the state of New Jersey are
Richard Stockton.
John Witherspoon.
Canada. Hope starts here.
Francis Hopkins.
NEA's ultimate goal of a single-payer system.
John Hart.
Healthcare. Health will most certainly be an American one of our values, our constraints.
Original signers of the Declaration of Independence from the state of...
The signers of the Declaration of Independence from Delaware are
Caesar Rodney.
George Reed. Thomas McCain.
The original signers of the Declaration of Independence for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania are
Robert Morris,
Benjamin Rush.